Welcome, traders. Um, this lesson, um, I'm gonna show you basically the main ingredients to my strategy. Okay, the main ingredients to my strategy, which is called the range or sideways movement. And the range is your friend. Okay, they say the range is your friend, and it is actually. The range is definitely your friend, and that is the bread and butter of my strategy, right? The bread and butter of my assets, my income, and the money that I make, right? So just to give you a bit of foundation, we know that the market moves in a trend. When the market is moving up, you have what you call an uptrend, right? An uptrend has a higher high, right? And an uptrend has a higher low. That's when the market is moving up. When the market is moving down, you have a higher low, a lower low, higher low, lower low, and so on and so forth. Okay? So you have a higher low and lower low. Now, when the market is not trending, what you normally see is this a range, right? A range or sideways movement. As you can see, it's moving sideways, right? And that's the difference between this guy, which is moving up, right? And the difference with this guy, which is moving down, okay? So, yes, you want the market to be moving in a direction. You tend to not make any money when the market is ranging, okay? There are some range traders there, and there are different strategies in my course that shows you how to make money in a ranging market, right? In a ranging chart, right? But we're not doing that today. Okay. So now we're going to focus on why a range is your friend. Okay. Now, a range is an indicator of um, for you to prepare to to get into the market. Why is that? Because a range is basically the big boys, the big banks, and the big billionaires, multi-millionaires, multi-high hundred um, millionaires. The people who move the market. When you see a range, these guys are loading up. Okay, loading up, preparing for a takeoff. Now let's use that same example, takeoff. What happens when a plane lands at its destination? It's not moving, right? Once it reaches its destination, it takes some, it moves towards the hangar and it stays there. It stays there until when? It stays there until the passengers are offloaded, the staff or crew is changed over, the plane is cleaned, and the plane is being prepped for the next leg, right? The next flight, right? It's being refueled, right? The plane is being refueled, and the luggage is being loaded. The pilot, the new pilot, or the same pilot, whatever, is getting new information about his or her destination. Good. So you might have a range that leads in. Sorry, you might have a trending market that leads into a range. So I want you to look at this. Okay. We're talking about planes now. So let's say this right here, we are in Portugal. Okay. And this right here is New York. This is New York. Now, these people in Portugal wants to fly to New York. You're loading you get the plane ready. Okay. The plane has arrived in the airport, right? It's loading up. It's not loading up, sorry. It's refueling. It's offloading the passengers. It's taking off the luggage. It's getting new staff in. It's cleaning the plane. It's preparing the plane for the new passengers to come in. It's getting the food on the plane and then reloading the passengers and then moving away from the hangar. Now you're on the runway and you've taken off. Okay? So that is same as the big boys loading up, right? Now you've taken off. You reach a destination and the same thing happens over and over again. Right? Same thing happens over and over again. And this happens on any market. This happens in any pair, currency pair. This happens in any assets, indices, commodities. The market moves in trends and ranges. Okay. Now your goal is to sit at the computer and wait for that range. Okay? Wait for the range. Um, Now, let me give you some examples of what you need to be looking for. Okay. So from this range, you see that the market came down to this level, right? Came down to this level. Let's move you up a bit. Broke through this level, right? I'll do another lesson on support and resistance, but just a quick one. Support here. There we are. You have support here and you have resistance here. When the market is pushing up, you get resistance, isn't it? Yeah. And then when you're trying to lift something, you're supporting the weight of that item that you're lifting. Okay. So when the market is ranging, it should tell you that this level is strong and this level is strong, and the market is just not um, going through that level. When the market finally gets to that level, you know that this is the direction that the market needs to go in. Okay. So, for example, if the market then breaks here, you wouldn't then put in a trade for it to go here. If the market breaks here, you wouldn't then put in a trade for it to go that direction. So this is one example. The range tells you the breakout of the range tells you the direction of the market. Okay, it tells you the direction of the market and where it wants to go. Granted, there are times where the market might break down. Right. So now you're preparing for it to then be bearish and go down, continue to the downside. But then it might retest this level, right? And then continue up. These things happen. The market is not perfect. Okay. So this strategy is called the break and retest, or what I call it, the BABE method. And I call it the BABE method just to make it easier to understand what is happening. Okay. So the BABE method is the break, which is here. That's the break, the bounce, which is here, right? The retest, which is here, and then the entry, which is here. Okay. So you have the break here. Let me do it this way, just so you can properly understand. Oh, you have the bounce. You have the retest. So the retest and the entry area is basically the same area. Now with this here, you have to know the price action. You have to be able to read the candles to know what it is telling you to do. Okay, because there is sometimes, like I said earlier, it might retest this level and continue to the upside. And then you have to be able at a level where you're able to read what the candle is telling you in real time. Okay, cool. Another example on the Babe method. All right. So you have the range, right? So you have this level here. Um, Here we okay, right there. Let's do this one. Cool. What's the difference between this one and this one? The difference is, right, you have the retest. Sorry, you have the retest here, but here you don't have the retest. Now, if you remember what this line represents, support level, support and resistance level, or SNR. What does this line represent? The same thing. Same as this line, same as this line. But the difference with this example, you have the break here. Then you have this second break, okay? And then at the close of the candle, below that level, you have your entry, okay? So you have the Babe BBE, okay? And this one is BBE, which is the Babe method, okay? And you just have to be able to identify which is which. The most important thing in this here is identifying support and resistance levels. Okay. I would have other courses, other lessons that shows you what support and resistance levels are and how you identify them and how you put, you know, put a line there so you know this is your level. Okay. Now you have a third method, okay, which is one of my favorite, is here you're waiting for the load up and everything, okay? And then the plane takes off. In this method, the plane takes off, excuse me, the plane takes off and continues to the upside, range a bit, right? And then continues, yeah. And this is your trigger point, okay? So you might have a situation where the market just takes off. right? Market just takes off, and yeah, it just takes off, and there's no indication. There's no Portugal. There's no New York yet. The plane just takes off, right? So this for this example, the plane has taken off, okay, and then sorry, forgive me. There is a Portugal or plane or whatever. So I want to use this example. So let's say the plane takes off, okay? You might have this here somewhere here while it's moving. So if you miss this, you have this opportunity to get in, you have this opportunity to get in, and you have this opportunity to get in. Okay? So this is what this is. So we're looking at everything as not everything, every angle to see how we can get in on the trade. Okay? So you missed the takeoff. That's what I meant to say earlier. Excuse me. It's been a long day. All right? So you missed the takeoff. Okay? And the range is somewhere here, right? It's the takeoff and you missed it. Oh, jeez. Yeah, you missed the takeoff here, right? So you wait. You wait. You have like a mini sideways movement, usually on a lower time frame. Sometimes you might see it on the 15 minute. I normally trade between the 3 minute, 5 minute, and 15 minute. Um, so you might see it on a lower time frame, and that's another indication for you to get in. Okay, another indication for you to get in. So what is happening here? So the plane has taken off. So remember, what happens in the plane? The plane has taken off. Now it's about to reach altitude, right? This is its altitude level, right? It's reaching altitude. Now it has to move sideways before it goes to another level, right? Before it goes to another level. Maybe, oh, geez, why is this doing that? Yeah, maybe there's another plane above it or whatever it may be, but it has to wait, continue sideways before it reaches another altitude level. And then once it then starts taking off again to another level, altitude level, you enter. Okay? All right. So that's it in a nutshell, and how range and sideways movement are your friends, right? Range and sideways movement is your friend. Range is your friend. Sideways is your friend. This is how you find quality trades. As you can see in my previous videos, where you can make 2,000, 5,000, even 10,000 dollars per day using this strategy. Okay, I give an example. If you have made this trade here, we have the entry here, and you took the market down to here, you have 357 pips, right? Let's do 3, 5 times 15. 15 is per pips, the value per pips. Okay, on the broker that I use, the lowest is 15 per pips. So you times that, that's 5,000 right there. Okay. So just to give you some example, just a perspective on what this is, because you're doing this at the beginning of the move. At the beginning of the move, that's where you want to get your entries in. At the beginning of the move, that's very important. Whereas there are trend traders who um, would wait for the second phase one. So this is phase one, it's phase two. Phase one, phase two, and they would enter here. Okay? Trend traders would enter at this level. Whereas you would enter here. Okay. And this strategy, this strategy, and this strategy allows you to do that. Okay. Allows you to do that. All right. So that's it for now in regards to ranges and sideways movements. Um, and I'll be doing more videos on support and resistance, price actions, and things like that. Remember what I said, price action is very important to know when to enter, to know what the candle is saying to you, right? Being able to read the candles so you know what to do. All right? Cool. See you in the next one. Peace. I'm going to get some sleep. I am tired. I've just done some traveling today. I'm very tired. All right. So I hope this is helpful for you to understand um, range and yeah, and what my strategy helps you to do. All right. Cool. Thank you, man. Peace. Bye.